Hey, everyone. So I'm your guest host today, Clear Vision Wednesday. Sorry so much about the technical challenges. We're going to be looking at Beyond Eye Exercises, 3 Keys to Clarity. I'm your guest host, Trisha Kirby. Normally, Clear Vision Wednesday is hosted by Claudia Muhlenweg, and her website for these live streams is on YouTube at Holistic Vision Coach /streams. That's where you'll find a whole bunch of things you can learn about. So I'm born clairvoyant. It means that I was basically psychic and seeing things even when I was very, very young, usually bad stuff, unfortunately, but I'm a prophetic visionary and I sense things deeply. I'm an intuitive vision coach, so I use my gifts to help Claudia and the students in her programs to find better vision by clearing mindset blocks and overcoming challenges that they have in their life, more related to the emotional, mental realm than the physical realm. But I do a little bit of helping with the physical realm too, and giving them ideas on how to tweak some of the techniques that are taught in the courses. And I'm a visionary artist, and my art is behind me in the room here. Oh, if anybody's talking, you guys mute, okay? Please, or Katrina, please mute them. Thank you. I have an Etsy shop. I'm an artist. I hand make vision tools for better vision, like shifters and stars for astigmatism, all tools that help you see better, and they're all handmade. So today's talk, Clear Vision Wednesday, Beyond Eye Exercises, 3 Keys to Clarity. So how this got started was, so I feel frequency and resonance. Being intuitive, I sense things in people, I sense things about situations, I sense things about objects, and I'm a sensor. So like people could be having a conversation and I would be sensing whether or not what they were saying was true or whether or not it was going to be accurate for them or outcomes on things. I just have a real strong sense of sensing. So how this presentation came about was that I noticed a pattern in my sessions with the vision students and other people as well, of things that showed up consistently. Like one of these 3 keys shows up in probably 90% of the sessions that I do. So not necessarily all of the keys, but definitely one of the keys. So for me, it's about frequency and resonance. There will be resonances between good things and disresonances when it's bad things and it's not aligned. And these are the things that I pick up intuitively and use in my sessions. Okay, so first key to clarity. Are your eyes time travelers? I know you're here in the present moment, but your eyes might be still experiencing some things in the past. What do I mean by that? Are you unknowingly viewing the world through these perceptual filters of the past? Like, is the past still running the show kind of behind the scenes, like a software on the computer that you didn't even know you had? And how would you even know this? By paying attention to how you feel in the present moment. If you're feeling worried, apathetic, lost, anxious, angry, depressed, frustrated, hopeless, weepy, fearful, distrustful, sad, or annoyed, and you don't have anything like exactly present in this moment that would be leading to those feelings, then you may have something going on from the past that is still showing up, causing problems in the present moment. And so how does this happen? I want to give a little bit of a sciencey explanation to this, because I want you to understand that it's not just woo-woo, it's not just guesswork, it's not just random psychology. There's actually brain neurobiology explanations behind how this happens and how it can be healed. So there's power in the moment, and here it is. You have a negative experience. Now, we say trauma, but trauma for every person is different. It could be a little trauma, it could be a big trauma. It really is how you react to it, how you perceive it, the beliefs and stories you make up around it in the moment or even later following that moment. So you have a bad experience. In your limbic system, that's your fight or flight response. So that's your the get up and go to hopefully save you or keep you safe. That's your limbic system. Processes that negative experience, that trauma, as a significant threat. It says, okay, this is a threat. And again, it can be something really little. It could be just like your parents, someone yelling at you. It could be a mistake that you made and you got humiliated or mortified or scared. It can be little things, but it can be big things too, like car accidents, illness, all kinds of other things like that. And what happens when your limbic system processes an experience and it registers it and saying, oh, I feel unsafe here. I feel like this is a threat. a gamma hertz wave travels in your brain. That's 100 hertz. That's a heightened perception moment. So you see on the chart way at the bottom, gamma 30 hertz and above, heightened perception in the moment. And it encodes that traumatic memory in an area called the lateral amygdala in the brain. And I promise we won't get much more sciencey than this, just a tiny little bit more. The reason it does this is it's trying to protect you. I mean, your amygdala really wants to be there for you to protect you in the future. And if it says that something is a trauma in your life, it's going to register that trauma and want to look for anything else like that in the future to try and protect you. So there's a reason that the encoding is there, but the encoding ends up working up against us later, because if the first encoding trauma was, say, a tiger charging at you, then you would really want to know that in the future, right? But if your first encoding trauma was someone yelling at you, that's not a trauma that you want to be having triggered over and over and over again later on in life. And this is exactly what happens. So it encodes it by adding what's called an AMPA receptor to the lateral amygdala. And the AMPA receptor is like a mailbox. So it's like you put a mailbox out in front of your house, or you add a mailbox on your email, and that mailbox becomes a filter for any experience that looks and feels like that original experience. And it can be literally anything. I mean, you could just resonate the same feeling, like, okay, it's a sad feeling, and sad keep you sad and unsafe. So sad and unsafe comes up over and over again. It can be anger, it can be frustration, whatever it is. So bullying, divorce, abuse, injury, illness, loss, any of those things, they end up being filtered by your brain with this little AMPA receptor. And it's usually one on an experience, but then it becomes a filter for the rest of them. So that filter keeps the past alive. This is what I meant by are your eyes time travelers, because the past is still present, and it creates a constant state of alert, meaning that you're stressed out, or you're sad, or you're frustrated, or you're upset, and you don't know why. And that fight or flight response is active all the time. And this is your sympathetic nervous system response. So how do you heal this? Oh, and you guys mute. Anybody who's not muted, I hear rustling, and it's not me. Please mute. Thank you. So to heal, we need to dissolve those original encoded AMPA receptors. And I bet you guys want to know how to do that. Yes. So how do you do it? It's pretty easy, actually, relatively speaking. You activate the original memory of emotion or emotion. Now you can talk about it. You can bring the feeling to mind. You can maybe allocate a color to it or something, but you just bring it to mind. I mean, heck, things get triggered by us all the time. Anyone ever watched a commercial or even a movie and gotten triggered by a scene that reminded you of something traumatic that happened to you in the past? That would be activating that AMPA receptor. So you actually, in that moment when you're being triggered and activated, that's actually a golden moment for you to heal. You can heal in that moment if you have the tools and you know how to do it. So going back, you activate the original memory or emotion. That activates that little AMPA receptor, activates the AMPA receptor, and then you create a delta brain wave. This is the opposite, not the gamma, but the delta, which is below 4 hertz. That's your dreamless sleep, your deep sleep, your loss of bodily awareness. It's a feeling of profound safety, actually. It's when you feel really safe. That delta brainwave effectively dissolves the original encoded AMPA receptor. And it unlinks your memory from the emotion, and it frees your mind from the past. So the memory is unlinked from the emotion. It doesn't have a hold on you anymore. It's not running the show anymore, and it's not keeping you living in the past. It's not influencing you. So what creates this seemingly magical delta wave that frees us from the past? Psychosensory therapies, havening, EFT, somatic body work, massage therapy, IFS, which is internal family systems. Heck, even talk therapy can do it. Lots and lots of different things can do this. You could be just having regular body work and something gets activated. Maybe you're talking to your massage therapist and then they keep working on you and you feel safe in the space. For about 8 minutes, you want to make sure that that delta wave state stays activated, and then it'll heal. And that's when the AMPA receptor will dissolve and you will heal. And it's very profound. It's very fast. And it really works. So, and there's a book on this, if you want to know more about what I'm describing, When the Past is Always Present, about emotional traumatization, causes and cures, by Dr. Ronald Rudin. I'm actually a havening practitioner, and I studied with them in 2016 in New York and did their training. And they have lots more practitioners now than they did then, but it's called amygdala depotentiation. That's that unlinking of the memory from the emotion, and it's called havening. So one of the things this is the first key, is about healing the past. It's about making sure that what happened in your past, and here's the thing, intuitively, I can sense it in people, even if they say, no, I'm over that. I forgave it. That's done. That's in the past. I can sense whether it really is in the past or they're just saying that it's in the past. And I'm not saying that people can't heal on their own. They absolutely can. But I can really feel if something's really healed or if they're just kind of saying that it's healed. And I'm like, no, there's still something back there. I can still feel it. And I always believe in the good in people, and I believe people can heal, and I want to see them heal. But if I sense something still bothering somebody on an intuitive level, that's like I can sense the emotion is still there, there's something still activated, I let them know just so they can hopefully heal it. And whatever way they want to choose to heal it. So first key, healing the past. You heal the past, and it's really going to help your eyes. People, whether it was parental abuse, or maybe you didn't get along with your mom or your dad, or maybe you had a divorce, but there's some amount of emotion, and that will keep you in a state of blur. It will. That's something that if you can heal the past, that is profoundly impactful on the clarity of your vision, profoundly. Okay. All right. The second key, psychology of happiness. So research shows anticipation can create more happiness than the actual experience. True story. Anticipation. So having something to look forward to. We need something in our life to look forward to. It's paramount. Another thing that I noticed in sessions is that when people don't have something to look forward to, and this can be a big something or a little something, and I'll talk about that, they get a little lost, and that increases blur too. If you don't have something to look forward to, your eyes need something to look forward to, then things get a little off track, they get a little wonky. So what do you do to help that? You create a life filled with little or big things that you can look forward to. So maybe you do a little treatment at the spa for yourself. Maybe you give yourself flowers or buy yourself a special dessert treat, or you go out walking in nature. But you plan things that allow for the energy of anticipation. So I'm going to go back to the study for a second. Looking forward and looking back, anticipation is more evocative than retrospection. They found that in research that when you look forward to something, there's better energy generated than when you actually experience the thing that you were looking forward to and look back on it. Like there's more excitement and more enjoyment and more love and more just really heightened happy energy in the anticipation part. So little things, give yourself a hug, buy yourself some warm, cute socks to wear, go out and spend time with friends, but be looking forward to it. It has to be looking forward to something. Big things, you could go on a trip, you could travel, you can plan a retreat, like Claudia's on a retreat right now in Greece. Have adventures. You could plan family reunions or going to see friends in other places. Be big things too, but have either little or big things that you can look forward to. Another part of this with the anticipation is having a purpose in your day, having a life purpose that you love, because that propels you forward as well. It moves you forward when you wake up in the morning and you anticipate the day because you're excited, because you have a life purpose. You have a reason for really being on the planet. You're here for a reason, and every person here is here for a reason that's individual to you. Whether you're retired or not does not matter. You always have a life purpose. I put this little Ikigai diagram up here to give people a little bit. This is more like for working people, and I understand some people are retired, and for you, when you're retired, it's more about your mission and your passion and what you enjoy than necessarily like your vocation and profession of what you're doing. But you're still contributing on the planet. You're still here for a reason. You're still doing things. So having a purpose also helps you. And then having goals and intentions for what you want to create in your life. This is another anticipation thing. What are you looking forward to in terms of your life being improved in some way, being changed or bettered in some way, becoming a better person? We're always growing, we're always learning, we're always expanding who we are on the planet and how we show up in the world. So we want to look forward to and create our own little goals and our life plans and our intentions versus worrying about what might happen, because negative anticipation is worry. And I see that in a lot of sessions. I ask people, well, how are you feeling with your life? Oh yeah, my life's good. I like it. And I sense into it, that statement. And I'm like, well, there's something you don't like, because I can feel it. And I intuitively look into their eyes, and I can look out through their eyes, and I say, my eyes don't feel safe in the world. And then they immediately shift to, well, of course not. Look at the politics, look at the world climate right now, look at the international relations, and they get really stressed out right away. And so I say, okay, that's not something you can control right now, but it is influencing the blur in your life. If your vision is blurry and your life is really pretty good, like finances are good and health is good and everything's pretty decent, how are you looking at the world? How are your eyes viewing the world? So if you don't know what you want in your life, or you don't know what you want to change, making little changes, I invite you to, practice some positive self-coaching by looking at each area of your life and then creating a plan for what you want it to look like your dream, your ideal life. So when I say looking at each area of your life, talking about something like a coaching mandala. So you look at each section, and I'll put a link for this so you guys can have it and do it. It's health and self-care, family and friends, social and fun, romance and intimacy, that'd be partnerships, career, finances, personal development, and your actual home. And write a little paragraph of each one of these areas, what you want it to look like. What do I want my health to look like? If I could make changes in my health, what would they be? If I could have changes in my family and friends, what would that look like? Would people get along better? Would we see each other more often? Social and fun, what am I doing for activities in my life that I can look forward to? Again, always about looking forward to things. Partnerships, what am I doing in my partnerships that's fun and interesting, and making plans together? What can I look forward to in my career? So all of those areas, you just go one by one and create things to look forward to. And this isn't to make you feel overwhelmed, like I have to do a lot of the homework assignments and work and all. It's just to take a observational view of your life. What can I change? What can I improve? How can I grow? So second key, in summary, positive anticipation. This is a big one. This really, really helps people, having something to look forward to every day. Or every week, but preferably a little bit in the future. It's not about living in the future. This is actually very much about becoming super present in the present moment, living your life, and then guaranteeing that the future that is coming towards you is going to be one that you really are going to enjoy and be excited about and love. All right, the third key. Ooh, this comes up a lot in sessions. Decide you are willing to release the clutter. Oh, now clutter can be all kinds of things. I want to say this. Clutter can be your mindset. Clutter can be the environment. It can be your email inbox. It can be, oh gosh, so many different things. So many people have concerns with clutter. Actually, it's funny. I will say this. I'm a bioresonance practitioner here, and I did a bioresonance session with someone. And one of the things that came up, I work more with the emotions with my bioresonance system. And one of the things that came up was clearing clutter. And I said to the person, this has your number one issue in your life. It says it's clearing clutter. And then they laughed and they said, oh, they said, well, I have 5 storage units full of stuff that I need to sort through. And some of it to sell and some of it to keep, but 5 full storage units. I couldn't believe it. It was so funny. So we had a good laugh about that, but I was like, well, it's affecting your life, so you may want to work on it. But this comes up in regular sessions too with people. And it's not that people are messy. That's not it. People aren't showing me their clutter on their calls, but they're mentioning it. And they're saying, I have a problem with clutter. So when their eyes are looking around their room, they see piles of stuff. It can be as simple, and this is going to be an issue of your tolerance level, because for some people a clutter pile is one pile of papers on the desk, and for other people it's like the entire room is full of stuff, and they have too many books and too many boxes and too many clothes, and they just have too much stuff, and then they don't know how to organize it, and then they get overwhelmed and they don't know where to start, and it just spirals out from there. But basically, if you look around each room in your home, your eyes are taking that room in through your vision. And if you feel good and you look around and you say, well, I feel okay. I love what I'm looking at. It's all good. It's beautiful. It's organized. I breathe deep and it's wonderful. then great. And if you look around and you're like, oh, I feel stressed out. And each pile of stuff I look at says, I need to do something with that. I should organize that. I should clean that. That needs to be thrown away. That needs to be recycled. That needs to be given away or rehomed somehow. If you're doing that and it's bothering you, that's affecting your vision. I literally have intuitively seen when people were creating blur in their vision because they didn't want to see the clutter around them. I know it sounds strange to say that, but it literally has come up. So this is one thing, and it has come up a lot. So I'm mentioning it because more than once. So what do you do about it? Ideas to clear clutter from your environment. So I was doing a little research on this. There are a ton of websites on clearing clutter, and there's even clutter clearing challenges. Like, 1 week you do the kitchen and 1 week you do the living room, and you spend time. And here's the thing. There is no cookie cutter approach to this, unfortunately. It's really going to be what works for you, and every person is different. And oftentimes the books that I've seen and the different systems that are already out there, and I know about the most popular ones, will work for some people and they won't work for others. So if it doesn't work for you and you haven't made progress in like a month of trying a system, try something else, because then something else might work for you. That's important. I was going to ask, Katrina, are there any questions on YouTube before I continue? And it's okay if not. If you're there.
I don't see any so far.
Okay, cool. All right. That's totally fine. That's what I was figuring. All right, let me close the chat. Okay, so ideas to clear clutter from your environment. First one, by the way, the kitchen is, this is Monet's. The artist, ask yourself, does my home visually represent the person that I want to be? So, and I don't mean the outside of your home, I mean the inside of the home. And you look around and you think, oh, this looks really nice. I feel really happy in here, and I feel whole, and I feel safe. Ask yourself that. That's the first one. And then you want to picture the space in its most ideal form. Organized, spacious, beautiful. If it's already that way, great. If you're in a room and it doesn't really feel like that, then spend a few moments actually visualizing, well, what does it look like when it's supposed to be its ideal? Maybe you know what that already looks like because you had it at the beginning, or maybe you know what you want to create with it. So you want to picture it. So visualization, again, this is using your mind's eye. This is using your imagination here. Use your imagination. And then, oops, missed one, sorry. Okay, so I want to talk about something that will get in the way. A little pause here. Nostalgic clutter. So one of the reasons that people don't start clutter clearing is because when they start to clear things out, they're emotionally attached. They're like, well, I can't give that away. I love that t-shirt. That reminds me of when I was in college and I was having really good times. And then they don't even start because they're like, well, I can't do it. Is it going to be emotional? I'm attached to that stuff. So, and that this is going to be more the emotional people. And no judgment on that. I'm actually one of them. I'm definitely an emotional person. So nostalgic clutter, items that hold emotional value. What do you do with that? Take a picture of it. This is just one idea. You can write a story about the memory associated with that item, why you love it. And if you really think, well, it's not serving me, it could really go to somebody else. You thank it for what it meant to you, and then you pass it on to someone, or you release it in a recycling way where it can go on. But you let it go. When you know it's time, and you just let it go. Okay, this is a fun one, Pomodoro Technique. This is the idea that you set a timer. So it's a little hardcore. So you set the timer for, I usually do 15 minutes, but this one says 25 minutes. You decide the task you want to complete, and you want to start small. I usually am like, okay, a flat surface, a desk, a kitchen counter, something like that, the kitchen table, dining room table. You decide what task you want to complete. I want to clear off one flat surface, or I want to clear off 2 feet of one flat surface. You set the timer for 15 minutes or 25 minutes, and then you work on your task exclusively until the timer rings. If you like to multitask, you can play a Clear Vision Wednesday episode or other video or audio episode and listen to it while you clean, but you spend that time cleaning. And then you take a 5-minute break, and then you repeat it if you feel up to it. If you don't feel up to it, you did your 25 minutes and you can let it go, but you got that cleaning done that day. And then you can take a longer break if you have repeated it then 4 or 5 times. Obviously, not cut in stone. You do what feels comfortable for you, but the idea is to set the timer and work consistently on it and not be distracted. Because in general, if you've got mess and clutter, you're going to be distracted. You're either looking for something or You have something you could be doing because you're always looking at the things that are telling you that they want to be worked on. So this is a way to stay focused. And work on one small area at a time. Like I said, like pick pick horizontal surfaces, like the little cupboard there, or a kitchen, or horizontal surface could be the floor, clear the floor. That's another one. Pick one area at a time. It can be just square footage or just a flat surface, but start small. Don't say I'm going to clean the entire kitchen today. You'll get overwhelmed. It's not viable. So pick an area, one area at a time. Create a place for everything. Not my house, by the way, not my cats. So you want to have a spot for your stuff. This is a problem where if you have a lot of clutter, you may not know where stuff should go. But here's the little trick. If you have, say you have a t-shirt or a hairbrush or something, you ask yourself, if I was going to go look for this item, where's the first place I would look? Like new place, if you were going to put it someplace. And then you think, well, I would go to the closet. So then that's where it should go. You want to think in terms of, if I didn't know where this was and I needed it right away, where would I go to find it? And then you go to that location and then you find it there. And that's going to be the little trick on how to know where to put stuff, because part of clutter is not knowing where it should go. So create a place for everything. Everything has its own spot. And then clean a little. This is a secret. Clean a little each day. Don't do it on just the weekends. So say, well, Saturday and Sundays for cleaning. No, clean a little bit each day. Like do the dishes before you go to bed at night. Make sure you have a clean sink. Clean off the counters, one counter before you go to bed at night. Or after you do your meals, you clean up. Or when you're in the bathroom, you do a little tidying after you take your shower. Whatever it is, incorporate a little bit of cleaning each day. Make it fun if you have to, but that'll help it from becoming overwhelming and just being a thing that you do on the weekends, and then you spend your whole weekend cleaning, and then now you don't have joy in your life because you spent your whole weekend cleaning and you didn't do anything fun on the weekend. All right, so coming into towards the end here, the third key is clearing clutter. That's a big one. So you want your eyes to be looking out at your home, feeling the beauty, seeing the beauty, noticing what's around you and smiling. There's no stress from the clutter. There's no feeling like I need to be doing something. It's an energy. My eyes see clearly, and I don't need to create more blur in my life to prevent me from seeing the mess. Think of it in terms of that too. I have clear eyes. I love seeing what's around me. I love the clarity in my life, clearing clutter. All right, you guys. So there's tons more videos on YouTube. I've actually done a bunch. I've done some on grounding and life purpose, creating a powerful life vision, color healing, overcoming fear, feeling safe in the world with the eyes. And everything I do is partly what I learn and gain in sessions, and partly just what I've experienced as a coach in the world and an intuitive to help others. I'm happy to help people. I offer private sessions. I am naturally intuitive, very compassionate. I like working with people on life purpose, but really people ask me all kinds of questions, and I'm happy to answer whatever I can, whatever. I tune into your guides and your soul, and I provide guidance and inspiration and intuition that way. And obviously with vision coaching too, I'm happy to help you with your vision goals as well, seeing how we can help your eyes heal, gain clarity, work with the techniques, with Claudia's techniques and her programs, and just personalize things for you to help you reach your vision goals. This is my website. I'm at trishakirby.com, where you can learn more about me and book sessions if you'd like a session. I do everything on Zoom, although I guess if you're in person, yes, we could totally do an in-person session too. My Etsy store, again, is little vision tools, the shifters and the stars. Shifters, which encourage eye movement, and the stars, which help with stigmatism. And I have a Facebook page, not super active. I promise I will try to be better about posting on my Facebook page. I'm always doing social media for Claudia, so I don't spend that much time on my own stuff. And this is kind of a sad note. I want to say this. Life hands you challenging experiences sometimes. And the past couple of weeks, I have had a huge one in that I lost one of my kitties, and I'm looking like I'm losing another one. So I'm mentioning this because I'm dedicating this program to my two kitties. They were actually both of them bitten by a brown recluse spider, a really super venomous spider in Florida. And looks like I'm losing both of them. So I want to say that when life hands you challenges, You know, you have to keep going. You have to make the best at whatever you're given. And nobody gets through life without a challenge. And I've had my share, but I do the very best that I can. I show up as my full self as much as I can. And at the same time, I know that, you know, there's a bigger picture out there. There really is. And so hug your families, love your families, hug your pets, love your pets. My pets are my family. And I am really grateful to you for spending this time with me. And I hope that these techniques help you. And I hope these keys help you with greater clarity. And I send you guys lots of love. So we're going to be stopping this share, and we'll be going off the live stream, and we'll have our Q&A Clarivision Club on Zoom. Thanks everyone for joining. I really appreciate you all. Okay, and then Katrina, if you want to stop the live streaming.